Hello and welcome again to another episode of Nerf News, your number one source for Nerf news on the net. I'm your host Drac, and today let's get right into it. So, this is the Nerf rival Prometheus. It was leaked by Popular Mechanics, which is still a very interesting choice, how Hasbro gives all of these publications that have less influence than their influencers more lead time even when they're doing broadcast press releases, despite the fact that most of us already knew about this blaster. Anyway, let's talk about it. So, it is a $200 blaster, and that's the most important thing because it's got to be worth it. At $200, it is more expensive than any other blaster Hasbro's released ever, with the only exception being the Terra Drone, which is really more RC camera toy than it is blaster in the first place, because frankly, it's not that good at blasting, and it is really good at transmitting video as an RC toy. So, what do you get for that money? Well, you get twice the capacity of the Nemesis at twice the price, which is to say you get a 200-round hopper. Is that special? I don't really know. We've been making extended hoppers from everywhere from 500 to 2,000 darts of capacity, and darts, I mean rounds, so like those are way cheaper to do. You can literally just buy a Home Depot bucket and hot glue it on top of a Nemesis. So is the capacity super valuable? Well, it is organic capacity, which is to say that it's built into the blaster very nicely, and I think that that is in and of itself cool. Now, I don't think it's going to be cross-compatible with the Nemesis. In fact, I don't even think it's going to come out of the blaster. There's no hinge here, so I think your 200-round capacity is permanently attached to this mad minigun, and that's just where it stays. So reloading is going to have to be done through this door, because I just don't think this is going to be removable this go-round. Now, we still have an agitator and a conveyor belt, and I'll get to why I know that in a minute. Hasbro is advertising that the rate of fire is increased, which really just means that they torqued up the conveyor belt so that it'll shoot balls faster. Is that impressive? Again, we've modified Nemesis and, honestly, the Zeus. Like, we've had high rate of fire fully automatic rival blasters for a really long time now. From a consumer's perspective, this is great. No modifications required. Supposedly 8 BPS, balls per second. That is pretty good. Now, with that kind of capacity, that means that you mow through it in under a minute. That's pretty awesome in and of itself. It's going to come with a strap, and then this is where we start getting into downsides. So it is a rechargeable battery, which can be kind of cool, but it's built into the blaster, which means no rapid changing of power. When it's dead, you have to plug it in and wait, presumably hours, for it to be ready to go again. Now, will it get you through an entire day of Nerf? Certainly not. Will you get you through a couple of rounds? Sure. Again, for some people, that's going to be a pro, because you don't have to go out and buy the rival rechargeable battery pack. For some people, that's going to be a con, because you can't play with it all day. It's interesting because it makes you wonder, like, is this a response to other companies taking advantage of the built-in rival rechargeable tech and using it to their own ends? Just make it proprietary and plug it in Apple style. I honestly don't think that's the case. The Terra Scout also came with a rechargeable battery pack. I think that just at this price point, they're trying to give you everything in one box, which is cool, because for $200, the last thing that you want to do is tell your dad that you need another 15, 20 bucks for D batteries, and this would take a lot of D batteries. So assuming that the battery is somewhere in here, it'll recharge wherever, not super relevant, and it comes with a bandolier, because you're going to need the bandolier. This is such a big blaster, and presumably will be large, unwieldy, and heavy, that it needs a Mastodon-style bandolier. Otherwise, kids aren't going to be able to carry this. Even as is, it's questionable whether or not children, which again is not the target audience for Rival, will be able to utilize this blaster properly. It's got a super awkward, weird ergo handle here, making you kind of heavy style it from, I can't get into the camera the right way, from TF2. So you got this foregrip up here and this back thing here. Presumably this is like the rev trigger and this is the fire trigger. This dial here will control rate of fire, but ergonomically kind of a nightmare. This is not a primary class blaster at all. This is not even a pseudo primary class blaster. This is like a heavy class blaster. You cannot use this as your LMG or your DMR or anything. Like, this is, you have committed to being a less maneuverable class player on the battlefield, and honestly having some pretty awkward reloads and not being able to take cover pretty well. However, it does make you the Juggernaut. Like, this is a Juggernaut class blaster, and that is what it is designed to do. So, getting right into one more thing before I show you the video that I want to show you. This is just a quick mock-up of what somebody sent to me that is a Prometheus front end on a Nemesis back end, this honestly looks pretty good to me. I would rock this blaster. It's just a bigger, longer Nemesis at that point, and I have the wingspan to do that. A child definitely would not, but this is pretty cool. It's the most organic way to get that 200 round capacity into a machine gun style. So like, this is the most practical application for it, but you kind of have to ask yourself if at this point that's worth buying a $70 blaster and a $200 blaster and shopping them together, because that is a lot of money and you haven't even started on materials or solder or expertise or anything. It's just a big old expensive project. However, looks pretty cool. Fortunately, the Popular Mechanics guys actually got hands-on with this blaster, and so we can take a look at this. I'll move myself so that you guys can try to see. We'll just make it full screen, and I'll tuck over into the corner here. So this fellow is not a nerfer per se, but he is taking video footage of his sneak preview at this. You can see that acceleration dial. I think that's going to be rate of fire, and then the actual rate of fire for the blaster is pretty large. You can also see from the way that the balls are moving in the hopper that it is agitating them so that it's going to load almost certainly. Like, this is a big Nemesis, guys, for twice the price. He's also super corny because he's like exaggerating the agitation by rocking it up and down as he's doing it, and then this is a demonstration of just the blaster firing very quickly. You can also see in this video that the rate of fire is going to be inconsistent, which is just in line with what we know about these hopper-fed blasters. You're still going to want a chaos if you want a blaster that has consistent rate of fire. And then we also get a look at the Hades here at the end, which is just, in fact, a big Artemis. So we already know all of that. Talking about the Prometheus is pretty sweet. I think that it's going to be an exciting blaster. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on at Toy Fair. I think that it's going to be cool. It is a very specific blaster. You let me know in the comment section below, like, have we gone too far? Has technology progressed too far? Is $200 too much for a Nerf blaster? Like, at what point is your toy blaster more expensive than the average video game system? Like, we're not there yet, admittedly, but we're getting pretty close. So, like, when a Prometheus costs almost as much as a Nintendo Switch, do you think that you'll get that much fun out of it? Like, Nerf is moving with just these aggressive cost-value propositions to a point where, like, you really have to start questioning whether or not you're getting your money's worth out of your toy blaster. Now, I'm a huge enthusiast and a collector, so I will be buying one so that I can bring you a hands-on review, and I will also bring you a first look of that prototype at New York Toy Fair. That is my duty to you guys, the best audience in the world. And because you're the best audience in the world, that was a smooth segue, I feel the need to tell you that the epic Nerf battle that I'm a part of every year that happens in Arlington, Texas, is going to sell out this year. I warned you a while ago when the tickets were just 16 bucks. I wanted you guys to know, and I told you, and then I warned you again at 18 bucks. And at this point, we have sold out of the $20 tickets, and we are well into the $25 tickets. Guys, don't wait. Like, for real, if you think that you're going to go to this event, buy a ticket now, because they're going to be, I think, $30 eventually. Maybe even more than that. It's going to be the biggest one ever. There's lots and lots of special guests that are way more famous than, like, even myself or Aaron or Paul or Coop. Like, they're even more famous than Chewbacca Mom here. Like, this is going to be the biggest one yet. There's some really special stuff in the works that I legitimately, legally can't tell you about. But I'm telling you that, like, if you have considered this event in the past, if this is something that you're interested in, it is unprecedentedly cool, and I need you guys to buy your tickets now. I'm not being paid to tell you to buy your tickets now. I'm just telling you that, like, every year I get messages after the event telling me, like, Dear Drac, I really wish I'd known. I would have gone to the thing. So I'm throwing this at the end of the news segment so that you guys will know that not only is it happening again, it's going to be March 10th at 7 p.m. It's going to be the biggest one yet, period, end of story. And, like, there's some really big stuff going on. Like, the world's largest, most incredible indoor arena, plus Nerf battles, plus special celebrity guests. Show up, be there, or be square, I think is the thing. But most importantly, like, if you're planning on coming, save a little bit of money, buy your tickets now. I hate it when it sells out and people can't get tickets at all, but you still have an opportunity to get them at a slight discount. So That's my 10 cents. My 2 cents is free. I will see you guys later. Hopefully the Prometheus is worth the hype, and hopefully I will see you guys at the epic Nerf battle or Toy Fair. Much love. Nerf on. Drac out.